Today I am here to deliver a lecture on the topic Diversity in Living Organisms, which is chapter 6 of class 9 biology. In this chapter, what we'll be studying about different types of organisms, the diversity of living organisms which are present around us, and how do we classify them on the basis of their different characteristics. Firstly, why we need to classify the organisms. We need to classify the organisms because classification makes the study of the organisms easy. If we classify and characterize the organisms on the basis of if we classify the organisms on the basis of their characteristics, we need to study the characteristics of one organism, and other organisms can be remembered as that examples of that characteristics. Rather, if we don't classify them, then we need to study each and every organism separately, which is not possible, as because there are thousands, millions of living organisms present all over the earth. Now the science of classifying the organisms is known as taxonomy. Now in the next we will be studying about classification and evolution. Classification is very much dependent upon evolution because, as we know, previously when the earth was formed and then it settled down and then the living life started on the earth, at that time many of the organisms are formed which are not present now. But now we have different types of organisms which are present, and they are many in number as compared to the previous one. So to classify them, we need to be there are some hierarchy of classification which are divided into 7 levels. These levels are kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species, in which the kingdom is the largest one and the species is the smallest one for the mode of classification. Binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature, as the name indicates, bi means two, nominal means name, means to classify the organism or to name the organism on the basis of its two levels, which we have read in the previous slide. These two levels are always considered as genus and species, as because these are the only which differentiate, or you may say which separates the organism from the other group members of that particular phylum, because only the species will be different for each and every organism. Still the genus, they can be same, and if we move from species to kingdom in reverse or in other from lower to the highest, then the organisms will be going on adding in the group. Now here there were different classification being given timely by Linnaeus, who gave two kingdom classification, by Carl Woese, who gave three types of domains in a classification. But in this we will be studying about the modern classification, which was given by R.H. Whitaker and which consists of 5 different kingdoms. These are Monera, Protista, Animalia, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia, in which the Monera is the lowest one and Plantae and Animal are the largest groups of classification. In Monera, we consider two groups, that is of bacteria, Archaea and Eubacteria, while in Protista, from Protista till Animalia, all the eukaryotic organisms. The domain Eukarya is divided into following kingdoms, that is, as I told you before, Protista, which contains protozoans, algae, then the fungi, which contains mushroom, yeast, then next comes the Plantae, which consists the multicellular plants only, and then comes the Animalia, which consists of multicellular animals only. So firstly we will be discussing about the Plantae kingdom. The plantic kingdom is the eukaryotic organisms. These are the multicellular organisms. These are the plants which are photosynthetic, that is, they are able to synthesize their own food with the help of chloroplast, the organelle, and which have the chlorophyll in it. These are autotrophic, having mode of nutrition, as because they can synthesize their own food. They can be divided into two groups, that is non-flowering plants and the flowering plants. The non-flowering plants are also known as cryptogames, and the flowering plants are known as phanerogames. Cryptogames means you may say it's the type of group of plants in which the sexual organs are not visible, that is, they are inconspicuous, while in flowering plants it is visible. Non-flowering plants consist of the groups of algae, fungi, algae, mosses, ferns and gymnosperms, while the flowering plants consist of angiosperms only, which are the most evolved plants. Coming to the next, that is the algae. They are also known as the thallophyta, as because their structure is like thallus. They are mainly present in the aquatic system, as we know that the life has been originated in the aqua only, so that's why these are considered to be the most primitive organisms. They may be unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular, you can take the example as volvox, and multicellular, you can take the example of different organelles for different algae, for example Vaucheria. They don't have any type of root and shoot system. They don't have any type of leaves. They are just dependent upon the water, and they take the minerals and minerals through the water only. They contain photosynthetic pigment, that is chlorophyll, for the process of photosynthesis. Mosses. These are not present in the water, but these are the mosses are present near the water. They are also called as bryophytes. These have very simple leaves and stems. While it is not developed, the roots are present in the form of rhizoids for anchorage and absorption of water. They reproduce by spores. Spores, what do you mean by spores? Spores are the asexual mode of reproduction. It may be zoospores, it may be aplanospores. Then they have no vascular tissues in them, that is xylem and phloem is totally absent in them. So they need to be near water so that the water conduction can take easily, as because there is no survival of life without water. They are found in damp areas, that is near the aquatic systems. Ferns, pteridophytes. These are the last group of cryptogames, you may say, non-flowering plants. Second last group of non-flowering plants. These are developed more as compared to the bryophytes. These are also called as horsetails. As you can see, their structure is like that only. These have true root systems and vascular tissues also, although vascular tissues are not well developed. These reproduce by spores. These live in the damp areas because they need water for the fertilization. Then next, gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are the advanced cryptogames, non-flowering plants. These are considered to be the phanerogames with the angiosperms, as because the reproductive parts, that is anthrazoids and oogonia, are present, or you may say are visible in them in the form of cones. Reproduced through the seeds. The seeds are necked, while in angiosperms the seed are covered with the seed coat. Seeds develop in the cones, not enclosed by the fruits. These have necked seeds, needle-shaped leaves to reduce water loss. And then coming to the next, that is angiosperms. These are the flowering plants, the most evolved plants which are present, which covers the maximum area of our earth. These are with flowers, and flowers are the reproductive part which has both the anther and oogonia. Seeds are produced inside the fruit, that is the matured ovary forms the fruit and seeds are inside them which is covered. Thank you.